Dear friends, welcome to Dr. Varsha Gaitonde's channel. In this video, I am going to talk about dust testing guidelines for rice. The application of this testing may be applied to any of the varieties, hybrids, transgenics and parental lines of rice. The whole procedure is developed by the Indian Institute of Rice Research, which is located at Hyderabad. Let us see some of the prerequisite things for dust testing. The seed material required is according to PPVFR, where and what quantity and quality of seed material are required for testing a variety denomination applied for registration under this Act. Applicants submitting such seed material from a country other than India shall make sure that all customs and quarantine requirements stipulated under relevant national legislations and regulations are compiled with the minimum quantity of seed to be provided by the applicant shall be 3000 grams in case of candidate variety or hybrid and 1500 grams of each parental line if it is hybrid. Each of these seed lots shall be packed, sealed, and properly labeled with details in 10 equal weighing packets and submitted in one lot. Wherever individual panicles are to be supplied, such panicles shall be individually packed and submitted along with the said seed lot with proper labeling of the denomination, harvest year, and such other related documents. At least 100 panicles, each representing the normal ear size and drawn from the main tiller of the candidate variety, shall be submitted. The seed and ear submitted shall have at least 80% minimum germination, 98% of physical purity, highest genetic purity, uniformity, sanitary and phytosanitary standards. In addition, the moisture content of seed shall not exist or exceed 11 to 12% to meet the safe storage requirements. Applicant shall also submit along with the seed a certified data on germination test made not more than 1 month prior to the date of submission. The seed material submitted shall not have been subjected to any chemical or biophysical treatment. Coming to conduct of the test, the minimum duration of dust test shall normally be at least 2 independent similar growing seasons. That means you cannot conduct the dust testing one in Kharif and one in Rabi, and you will end up with the experiment. There should be 2 similar seasons. That means the climatic conditions for growing that particular variety or hybrid or whatever it may be should be same. The test shall normally be conducted at 2 test locations. If any essential characteristics of the candidate variety are not expressed for visual observations at these locations, the variety shall be considered for further examination at another appropriate test site or under special test protocol on expressed request of the applicant. The field test shall be carried out under conditions favoring normal growth and expression of all test characters. Size of the plots shall be such that parts of plants could be removed for measurements and observation without prejudicing the observations on the standing plants until the end of the growing period. Each test shall include at least 2500 plants in the plot size and planting space specified below across 3 replications. Separate plots for observations and for measurement can only be used if they have subjected to similar environmental conditions. All the replications shall be sharing similar environmental conditions of the test location. Coming to the test plot design, the number of rows may be 30, row length minimum 6 meter, row to row distance 30 centimeter, plant to plant distance 20 centimeter, expected plant or replications 900. The number of means expected plant per replication are 900. Number of replications minimum 3 for irregular and irrigated and shallow lowland tests, and 5 for upland, saline, alkaline, semi deep water and deep water tests. Observation shall not be recorded on plants in border rows. Additional test protocols for special purposes shall be established by PPVFR authority. The planting material for dust test for rice is 300, that means 3 kg for varieties and hybrids, and 1500, that means 1500 grams or 1.5 kg for parental lines. The observations taken in rice for assessment of distinctness, stability, observation shall be made on 30 plants or parts of 30 plants, which shall be equally divided among 3 replications, that is 10 plants per replication. For the assessment of uniformity of characteristics on the plot as a whole, that is visual assessment by a single observation of a group of plants or parts of plants, population standard of 0.1% with the acceptance probability of at least 95% shall be applied. In case of sample size 1,500 plants, the number of off-tabs shall not exceed 4 number. For the assessment of uniformity of characters on single panicle rows, plants or parts of plant, the number of apparent panicle rows or plants or parts of plants shall not exceed 2 in 50. For the assessment of all color characters, at least the latest Royal Horticulture Society color chart should be available with the observer. Unless otherwise indicated, all observations on the leaf shall be made on the penultimate leaf. Different range of characters. The number of total observations made in rice is 62. Now the schedule for receiving seed supply samples of rice is from December to 15th of April, that is for Kharif season. Coming to seed sample submitted, this I have already told you. The dust and testing centers for rice are IIRR, that is Indian Institute of Rice Research at Hyderabad, then National Rice Research Institute at Cuttack, IRA Kernel, AAU Jorhat and TNAU Coimbatore. How the grouping of varieties is done. The characteristics for grouping of the variety is based on specific characters. Out of 62 characters observed, only specific characters which are specially marked with a star mark are taken for grouping the varieties. Grouping depends on the characteristic which are known from experience not to vary or to vary only slightly within a variety, and which in their various states are fairly evenly distributed across all varieties in the collection, are suitable for grouping purpose. That means the variety should have varietal characteristic should have high heritability. The second characteristic is proposed to be used for grouping varieties are like base leaf, sheath color of characteristic 2, time of heading 50% plants with panicles, that is characteristic 20, then stem length like excluding panicle, excluding floating rice, characteristic 29, then decorticated grain, length of the grain, that is characteristic 54, decorticated grain or the shape of grain, that is characteristic 56, and decorticated grain, that is characteristic 57. The colors are observed along with endosperm character, then decorticated grain, aroma character for basmati type of rice are also used for grouping the varieties. Now we shall see the decimal code for the growth stages. Different decimal scores are indicated here. 10 means after germination, emergence of first leaf through coleoptile and second leaf visible. 40 means booting stage. 50 means first spikelet of inflorescence just visible. 55 is half of inflorescence emerged. 60 is beginning of anthesis. It begins with the protrusion of the first dehiscent anthers in the terminal spikelets on the panicle branches. 65 is anthesis halfway. 70 is milk development stage, that is formation of white milky sap within the spikelets. 80 is dough development. 90 is ripening. 92 is caryopsis hard stage. So to begin with the individual characteristic, we shall see certain plants or parts of a rice plant. Here you can say leaf sheath, leaf blade, okay, then ligule, auricle, collar, leaf sheath, then internode, node, leaf sheath, sheath pulvinus, internode, tillers, etc. And adventitious roots are present in rice. So now we shall see the individual character. First character is coleoptile. Coleoptile is the upper part or the emergence of stem portion. Upper or above ground portion emergence is nothing but the coleoptile. This will give rise to primary leaf and secondary leaf. Subsequently, the whole plant will be grown by this portion only. The status is colorless, green and purple, means based on the color the grouping is done here. Scoring is given as for colorless 1, green as 2 and purple as 3. Example of the varieties with colorless coleoptile are Krishnahamsa and Prasad. Stage of observation is 10. Remember, the first stage was 10, that is the coleoptile emergence. Here visual selection is done. The second characteristic is basal leaf sheath color. Basal leaf means the first leaf which is emerging, covering the entire one stem, or we can say the outer leaf of each sheath. This character may be green, light purple, purple line or uniform purple. This is again scored as 1, 2, 3, 4. Examples for green color basal leaf is Rashi, Hira. Light purple is Annada and Bhogali. Purple lines is Mahamaya and uniform purple is IR 24 and Aruna. Here the stage of observation is scored as 40. Third characteristic is intensity of green color. The RHS chart gives the exact color differentiation for leaves. Here light leaves is given score 3. Example of varieties are Rasi and Vandana. Then medium color of the leaf is given score as 5 and examples are Hira and Sugandha. Dark leaf green color is 7 score. Then IR 24 and Swarna are such kind. The fourth characteristic is leaf anthocyanin coloration. This is scored as present or absent. Present means 1 and absent is 9. Present is Sugandha and absent is Sugandha and present is, examples are IR 24 and Aruna. The fifth characteristic is distribution of anthocyanin coloration on leaf. This depends on different parts, like on tips only it is scored as 1, on margins only scored as 2, in blotches only scored as 3 and uniform are scored as 4. On tips only examples are Vivek Dhan 62 and CSR 10. On margins only Aruna and IR 24, uniform are Sahyadri. The sixth characteristic is leaf sheath anthocyanin coloration. Here it is scored as present and absent and given score as 1 or 9. Example for absent characteristic is Prasad and Govind and present are IR 24, Aruna. Leaf sheath intensity of anthocyanin coloration is the seventh characteristic. This is again classified as very weak, scored as 1, weak 3, medium 5, strong 7 and very strong as 9. Weak example variety is Rangali, then medium is Aruna and IR 24, then very strong is Shyamala. Coming to the eighth character, that is leaf pubescence on blade surface. Here one arrow, black arrow is given, that is nothing but the blade surface. Okay, here again it is classified as absent, scored as 1, weak scored as 3, medium scored as 5, strong scored as 7, and very strong 9. Example varieties for absent of pubescence is Sneha and Sugandha. Weak are Nagajana and Vibhana. Then medium is IR24 and Aruna. Strong is Jaya, Pantadhan 10. Then very strong is Govind and Jayashri. The ninth characteristic is leaf auricles. Auricles may be absent or present. Absent is scored as 1 and present as 9. Absent example is Vikramaria and present is Jaya, Basmati 370. Auricle, you may see the black layer above the leaf blade. Okay. Next character, 10th characteristic is leaf anthocyanin coloration of auricles. It is again classified as colorless, light purple and purple. For colorless example is IR24, light purple Aruna and Amulya. Purple is Hemavati and Janki. The 10th character, that is already I have discussed. Here it is given clearly the colorless and purple coloration of auricle. 11th characteristic is leaf collar, that may be present or absent. Present is scored as 1 and absent as 9. Present is 9 and absent is 1. Present example of the varieties are Rasi and IR24. 12th characteristic is anthocyanin coloration of collar. This is again classified as absent and present. Absent is Rasi and IR24 and present is Hemavati Aruna. 13th characteristic is leaf ligule. This is classified as absent and present. Absent as 1. Always remember absent is scored as 1 and present as 9. Okay. Example for present is Triguna and IR24. 14th characteristic is shape of ligule. That is classified as truncate, acute and split. Here in the picture you can see the splitting habit. Truncate is scored as 1, acute is scored as 2 and split is scored as 3. Varietal example for split kind of is Vijeta and IR24. 15th characteristic is leaf color on ligule. The color may be white scored as 1, light purple scored as 2 and purple scored as 3. Example for white coloration in Rasi, Pantadhan 10. Then light purple is Aruna, Jitendra. Purple is IR24 and Shamla. The 16th characteristic is leaf length of blade. That is characterized as short, medium and long. For short character less than 30 cm length. Example is VL Dhan 221 and CSR 10. It is called as 3. Then medium length of leaf blade, that is 30 to 45 cm. Examples are Basmati 385, Basmati 386. Then for long characteristic of leaf blade more than 45 cm, that is Basmati 370 and Dubraj. Leaf width of blade. Okay, it is again characterized as narrow, medium and broad. Narrow is scored as 3, medium as 5 and broad as 7. If less than 1 cm it is narrow, medium is 1 to 2 cm and more than 2 cm is broad. For a narrow one, examples are Basmati 386, Basmati 370, medium Pantadhan 4 and Vajram. Then broad is more than 2 cm, that is PTB 56. Coming to the 18th characteristic, that is calm attitude for floating rice only. That means please remember the 18th characteristic is meant only for the floating rice. Here non-procumbent is called as 1 and procumbent is called as 9. How the altitude of the culm is differentiated, it is given in figure. See, the angle between the panicle and the flag or boot leaf gives this particular character. Non-protuberance is given as 1 and procumbent is given as 9. The 19th characteristic is culm attitude. The culm attitude may be erect, semi-erect, open or spreading. Erect is scored as 1, semi-erect as 3, open as 5 and spreading as 7. For erect type, example is Pantadhan 11, IR 24. Semi-erect scored as 3, IR 8, VL Dhan 206. Open type is scored as 5. Janaki and Prasad are the examples. 20th characteristic is time of heading, that is 50% of the plant with panicles. This is classified as very early, that is less than 71 days. Early is 71 to 90 days. Medium is 91 to 110 days. 110 days. Then late is 111 to 130 days. Very late is more than 131 days. Examples, these are scored as 13579 and very early varieties. Example is Hira, early is Rasi Ravi, medium is Vikas Triguna, late is Basmati 370 and very late is Kushal and Sabita. 21st characteristic is flag leaf attitude of blade. In the early observation, it is classified as erect, scored as 1, semi-erect 3, horizontal 5 and drooping 7. Example for erect type is IR 24 and Indira. Semi-erect is VL Dhan 81, Jawahar. The characteristic expression of erect, open, semi-erect and spreading type are given here in the picture. The 22nd characteristic is Spikelet density of pubescence of lemma. The density of pubescence of lemma may be classified as absent, weak, medium, strong and very strong. Pubescence means hairs. These are again scored as 13579. Examples for weak type of pubescence is Krishna Hamsa. Medium is Rasi NDR 359. Strong are Vasumati and Vandana. Then very strong are K429. 23rd characteristic is male sterility, that may be characterized or grouped in absent and present. Absent means 1 and present is 9. Absent is IR 24 and present is IR 580 25A. 24th characteristic is Lemma Anthocyanin Coloration of Keel. This is divided into absent or very weak as scored as 1. Weak is 3, medium is 5, strong is 7 and very strong is 9. For absent or very weak, the examples are IR 24 and Swarnadhan. Then weak, Bhadra and Remya. Medium is Aruna, strong is Makom and Janaki. Very strong is Malviya Dhan. 25th characteristic is about lemma anthocyanin coloration of area below apex. The characteristic is divided into absent, weak, medium, strong and very strong, scored as 13579. Example for absent kind of anthocyanin coloration on the apex or below the apex of a lemma. IR 24, VL Dhan 81, weak are Ramya and Mandya. Medium is Vijaya, strong is Bhadra and Aruna, very strong is Bhogali, Makom, Janaki and Malviya Dhan. 26th characteristic is lemma anthocyanin coloration of apex. This is characterized as absent, weak, medium, strong and very strong, scored as 13579. Example for absent is Falguna, weak, Mandya, medium, Vijaya and Jalpriya, strong is Anjali and Shamala, very strong is Rasi and Janaki, sorry. Here you can see the anthocyanin pigmentation at the apex in lemma. The 27th characteristic is spikelet and color of stigma. of the spikelet. Spike and spikelets are completely different. Spike is the entire portion and spikelet is the individual part of that spike. Okay. So here the characteristic is divided into white, light green, yellow, light purple and purple. White is given as scored 1, it is scored as 1. Then light green as 2, yellow as 3, light purple as 4 and purple 5. Example for white type of spikelet color on stigma is Jaya Basmati 370. Yellow color is Mahi Sugandha. Light purple is IR24 Purnima and purple is Rasi and Mahamaya. 28th characteristic is stem thickness. Here the stem is divided into thin, that is less than 0.40 centimeter thickness, medium is 0.40 to 0.55 centimeter and thick is more than 0.55 centimeter. The thin is given score as 3. Example are Sneha K429. Medium is 0.40 to 55 centimeter, that is Lachit and Govind. Thick is more than 0.55 centimeter. Example is NDR 359 and Chanaki. The stem thickness is given in figure here. Very thick, then medium and thin. Then spikelet color is given at the left side figure. You can see purple and white color kind of spikelet. Next is stem length excluding panicle, excluding floating rice. Means panicle is the uppermost portion where we get the grains. Excluding that portion, the stem length is taken up to the boot leaf. Okay, means the first leaf from the topmost portion. This is divided into very short, that is less than 91 centimeters, scored as 1 and example is Hira. Short is 91 to 110 centimeter, scored as 3. PR 106 and Vajram are the examples. Medium is 111 to 130 centimeters, scored as 5 and example is Sabita. Long is 131 to 150 centimeter, scored as 7 and example is Neeraja. Very long is more than 150 centimeter, that is scored as 9. The 30th characteristic is stem anthocyanin coloration of nodes, divided into absent and present. Absent is 1 and present is 9. Example for absent type of anthocyanin coloration on the nodes of stem is Chaitanya IR24 and present is Amulya and Hemavati. 31st characteristic is stem intensity of anthocyanin coloration of nodes. This is divided into weak, medium, strong, scored as 357. Weak kind are CSR 27 and RCM 5. Medium are Shyamala, Rangili and strong is Amulya and Saraswati. 32nd characteristic is anthocyanin coloration of internodes on stem. Absent as 1 and present as 9, it is scored. Example for absent type is IR24 Krishnaveni and present is Prasanna and Janaki. 33rd characteristic is panicle length of main axis, that is divided into very short. Panicle means where we get the flowers and grains, that portion. Okay, especially the grains. It is divided into very short, that is less than 16 centimeters, scored as 1. Short 16 to 20 centimeters, scored as 3. Medium is 21 to 25 centimeters, scored as 5. Long is 26 to 30 centimeters, scored as 7 and very long is more than 30 centimeter, scored as 9. Example for very short is K429 and Sneha. Short is Vyaldhan 221 and Purnima. Medium is NTR 359. Long is Basmati 370 and Rangali. Then 34th characteristic is flag leaf attitude of blade. Okay, in the right side figure you can find the flag leaf attitude of the blade. The blade characteristic may be drooping down or upward, that is characterized as erect, scored as 1, then semi-erect 3, horizontal as 5 and deflexed as 7. Deflexed means drooping downwards. Erect example is IR24, semi-erect is Prasanna, VL Dhan 81, horizontal is VL Dhan 206. 35th characteristic is Panicle curvature of the main axis. The classification is straight, semi-straight, then deflexed and drooping kind. In the picture it is clearly shown here. For semi-straight, example are Bar Avarodhi, Lachit, deflexed kind Gobind and ADT 37, drooping kind is Purnima and Basmati 386. 36th character is Panicle, that is number per plant. Panicle numbers per plant. Few means less than 11, may be scored as 3. Example Kranti and Hira. Medium is 11 to 20, scored as 5. Example are Tulsi, Krishna and Hamsa. And many panicles per plant are more than 20 panicles per plant. Okay, 37th characteristic is spikelet color of the tip of lemma. The color may be white, yellowish, brown, red, purple and black, scored as white as 1, yellowish as 2, brown as 3, red as 4, purple as 5 and black as 6. Example for white type is Aditya and Pantadhan 6. Yellowish type is Prasanna, Pantadhan 12. Brown is Mandya Vijay and Basmati 385. Then purple kind is Rasi and Hemavati. 38th characteristic is Lemma and Pelia color. The color is divided into straw type. 9 scores are given here. For straw type it is scored as 1. Examples are Aditya and Chaitanya. Gold and gold furrows on the straw background, that is scored as 2. Examples are Vaibhava and Pantadhan 11. Then brown spots on straw scored as 3 and example is CTH3. Brown furrows scored as 4. Brown furrows on straw, then brown type the score is 6 and example is Bhagali. Reddish to light purple, example is Shamala and scored as 7. Then purple spots furrow on straw, scored as 8 and purple black is scored as 9. 38 characters are discussed up to here. The kind of pigmentation like from straw color to black color is given here. Then for spikelet color of the tip of lemma, okay, again it is divided into yellowish, black and brown color. 39th characteristic is panicle, presence of awns on the panicle. That is divided as absent and present. Absent examples are Jaya and Krishnaveni. Present is Pusa Basmati 1. 40th characteristic is panicle color of the awns. That is the observation is taken at the late stage, means after the grain filling. Scored as yellowish white, score is 1. Example are Nidhi and Pantadhan 11. Then yellowish brown is 2. Example is Nagarjuna and Basmati 370. Brown is scored as 3. Reddish brown as 4, that is Basmati 385. Light red 5. Red 6. Light purple 7. Purple 8 and black is 9. Example is Bhogali. 41st characteristic is length of the longest awn on panicle. The length is divided into very short, scored as 1. Example are Nidhi and Pantadhan 11. Short is scored as 3. Example Shamala. Medium is 5, that is Basmati 385. Long is given score of 7. Example Kasturi Basmati 386. Then very long scored as 9. 42nd characteristic is panicle, that is distribution of awns. It is divided into tip only, means awns are present at the tip only, scored as 1. Example Jawahar and Pantadhan 11. Upper leaf only, scored as 3. Example Basmati 370, ASD 20. And awns present on the whole panicle, scored as 5. Example Pusa Basmati 1 and Basmati 385. 43rd characteristic is presence of secondary branching on panicle. That is scored as present and absent. Present as 9 score and absent as 1. Example for presence of Secondary branching on Panicle is Rasi and Basmati 370. See in the topmost picture at the right side you can find the secondary branches, and in the first picture you can only find the Panicle having only primary branches. Okay, 44th characteristic is Panicle secondary branching. The branching is again divided into weak, strong and clustering. Weak is scored as 1, example Pantadhan 10 and Basmati 386. Strong is scored as 2, that is Annada and Pantadhan 11. Then clustered is scored as 3. 45th characteristic is Panicle attitude of the branches. Attitude of branches is divided into erect type scored as 1, erect to semi-erect scored as 3, semi-erect to semi-erect is scored as 5. Example is Mangal. For erect to semi-erect type, example is Satyashri. Then for semi-erect to spreading type, see the fourth picture. Here it is scored as 7 and given score as name. The examples are Pantadhan 10. Spreading type is scored as 9 and example is Pantadhan 4. 46th characteristic is Panicle exertion. Partly exerted, mostly exerted and well exerted is the scoring as 3, 5 and 7. Here you can see the Panicle exertion picture is given at the top portion. Partial exertion means that is less than 80%. Mostly exerted means 81 to 99%. And well exerted means 100%. Example for partially exerted is Suraksha, Vaibhava. Mostly exerted is Chaitanya Pantadhan 4. Well exerted is Vyaldhan 2 to 1. Time of maturity in days is the 47th characteristic, that is again scored as very early, less than 100 days, early 101 to 120 scored as 3, then medium duration 121 to 140 scored as 5, late is 141 to 160 scored as 7, and very late is more than 160 days scored as 9. Example for very early maturing types are Hira. Early type is Rasi and Ravi. Medium duration Vikas and Triguna. Then late type is Basmati 370 and very late is Kushal and Sabita. 48th characteristic is leaf senescence. Senescence means loosening the green color, and it is the sign of completion of the reproductive part as well as completion of the life cycle of the annual plants or any perennial plants. Also, senescence is the last stage of any plant. This is divided into early, medium and late. Early is called as 3, medium as 5 and late as 7. Early kind examples are VL Dhan 81, K429. Medium type is IR8, Basmati 385. Late type is Basmati 370. 49th characteristic is Lemma, sterile Lemma color. The color is divided into, in the figure you may see the Lemma color which may be sterile, divided into straw color, gold, red and purple. Straw color is scored as 1, gold as 2 and red as 3 and purple as 4. Straw color example is Tulsi, Pantadhan 11. Gold color is Vaibhava, Shanti. Red color is Ambe Mohar 157 and purple is Bhogali. 50th characteristic is grain weight of 1000 fully developed grains. For test weight, it is divided into very low weight less than 15 grams scored as 1. Example are Sugandha, PKV, HMT. Then for low weight 15 to 20 grams, example is Debraj and Sita scored as 3. Medium is 21 to 25 grams scored as 5, Basmati 370 and Basmati 386. High is 26 to 30 grams scored as 7. Example Mahamaya and PR 113. Very high is more than 30 grams scored as 9. Pantadhan 4 is the example. Coming to the 51st character, that is length of the grain. Okay, the length is divided into very short, that is less than 6 centimeter. Here till now we were discussing about the plant parts and panicle character. Now we are concentrating on the grain characters. Okay, very short means less than 6 mm, scored as 1. Example, Tarun Bhog. Short is 6.1 to 8.5 mm, scored as 3. Example, Vajram, CSR 10. Medium is 8.6 to 10.5 mm, example that is scored as 5. And example, Pantadan 4 and CSR 13. Long is 10.6 to 12.5 mm, scored as 7. And example are Sabita, Basmati 386. Very long is more than 12.5 mm, scored as 9. Example, IET 18004 and IET 18006. 52nd characteristic is grain width. Okay, that is scored as very narrow, less than 2 mm, scored as 1. Example, Sugandha. Narrow is 2.1 to 2.5 mm, scored as 3. Example, Devraj and Basmati 370. Medium is 2.6 to 3 mm, scored as 5. And example, Pantadan 4 and Sabita. Broad is 3.1 to 3.5 mm, scored as 7. Examples are Kranti and Matangini. Very broad is more than 3.5 mm, scored as 9. The 53rd characteristic is grain phenol reaction of Lemma. The phenol reaction is characterized and classified as absent and present. Then 54th characteristic is decorticated grain length. Means after removing the husk and the outer all portions, it is called as decorticated grain. Its length is taken as short, scored as 1, medium as 3, long as 5. Long Basmati type is 7 and extra long is 9. For short type, example is Kushal, medium is Samba Mysuri, long is Ratna and Triguna, very long is Kasturi and Basmati 370. 55th characteristic is decorticated grain width. Okay, this is again classified as narrow, that is less than 2 mm, scored as 3. Medium is 2 to 2.5 mm, scored as 5. And broad is more than 2.5 mm, scored as 7. For narrow kind, example is Shanti and medium is Hira. 56th characteristic is decorticated grain shape in the lateral view. Means it may be short slender type, scored as 1. Example, Devraj. Short bold, scored as 2. Shalivahana. Then medium slender is scored as 3. Example, Samba Mohsuri. Long bold is 4. Vikramarya. Long slender is 5, that is Krishna Hamsa. Long slender for Basmati type is 5, that example is Kasturi. The extra long slender is scored as 6. Here the length and breadth ratio is also given for the 56th character, that is shape. In shape we consider length as well as breadth ratio. Okay, short slender means less than 6 mm length and breadth is more than 3 mm. Short bold means less than 6 and less than 2.5. Medium slender is less than 6 and 2.5 to 3 mm length breadth ratio. Long slender is more than 6 kernel length and more than 3 length breadth ratio. Then for long bold type, more than 6 and less than 3 mm. Basmati type, length is more than 6.61 mm and length to breadth ratio is more than 3 mm. Extra long slender, the kernel length is more than 7.5 mm and length to breadth ratio is more than 3 mm. 57th characteristic is color of the decorticated grain, that is scored in 9 category, like white, example Sugandhamati. Light brown scored as 2, variegated brown as 3, dark brown as 4, light red as 5, example Jyoti. Red is 6, example red Triveni. Then variegated purple scored as 7, purple scored as 8 and dark purple scored as 9. 58th characteristic is presence of amylose in the endosperm. Example for presence of amylose is Vasumati. 59th characteristic is endosperm Content of amylose. Amylose may be very low, that is, very low is less than 10%, scored as 1. Example, Hyokumoshi. Always remember, Indian people or we Indians prefer more amylose kind of rice variety because we need non-sticky kind of the grains when we boil it, okay. But in case of Western world, as it is sticky, they enjoy the taste of that particular rice. The low amylose content is 10 to 19%, scored as 3. Example is Norin 18. Medium is 20 to 25%, that is scored as 5, and example is Tarori Basmati. High is 26 to 30%, 7 score is given here, and that is example is Jaya. Very high is more than 30%, given as 9, and many of the Basmati rice fall under this category. Now the 60th characteristic is varieties with endosperm of amylose absent only polished grain expression of white core. This is again classified as absence or very small, scored as 1. Small is 3, medium is 5, large is 7, and fully chalky is 9. 61st characteristic is gelatinization temperature. Gelatinization temperature through alkali spreading value and clearing test. The test was given by Little and co-workers in 1958. Here, duplicate sets of 6 whole milled grains are spaced evenly in transparent plastic boxes of 50 mm into 42 mm into 22 mm. This is length, breadth, and its height, okay, containing 10 ml of 1.7% potassium hydroxide. The dishes are kept at 27 to 30 degrees Celsius for 23 hours undisturbing in an incubator. Standard varieties must be used as checks for high, intermediate, and low gelatinization temperature. Spreading of kernels noted on the 7-point scale is expressed as average of 6 values. Scoring is done as kernel not affected, kernel swollen, then kernel swollen, collar incomplete and narrow, then kernel swollen, collar complete and wide, and kernel split or submerged, segmented, collar complete. This characteristic means gelatinization temperature through alkali spreading value is scored as low, medium, high, high, like that. For low type, Pusa Basmati 1 is example. Medium type scored as 3, example is Tariori Basmati. High to medium is 5, example is Kasturi. The last characteristic is decorticated grain, that is aroma character. Here aroma is a kind of character of especially the basmati rice, may be scored as presence and absence. The method consists of adding about 15 ml of water to 5 gram of rice sample in a test tube of 200 mm into 35 mm. Soak for 10 minutes. Cook the samples in water bath for 15 minutes. Transfer the cooked rice in a petri dish. After cooking, keep it in the refrigerator for 20 minutes. Then the petri plates are opened and the contents are smelled. The samples possessing the scent, as one could easily feel, produce a sharp and readily recognizable aroma, scored as strongly scented, mild scented, and non-scented, or it may also be scored as absent and present. Absent kind is Jaya and other conventional kinds, and presence is Basmati kinds. Friends, the information furnished by me is helpful. I hope that it is helpful for you, and if you have any doubt, you can just put it under the comment box. Thank you for watching it patiently. Thank you once again.